Hello, my name is Ashley Cowton, and this is my presentation for Module 1 for School Law, including my personal bio and my content analysis of the branches of government. A little bit about me. I graduated from Quinter High School in 2005. I earned my bachelor's degree from Fort Hays State University in elementary education. I've also earned a master's certificate in autism spectrum disorder from Emporia State, and I have completed my master's in instructional technology from Fort Hays State University. My work experience, I have taught my entire career in Ellis, Kansas. I started in 2012. Ellis is about 15 minutes west of Hays. While here in Ellis, I spent 7 years teaching 4th, 5th, and 6th grade language arts. I did 2 years of teaching 3rd grade. I'm on my 3rd year of teaching 4th through 6th grade math, which will continue to be my position. For 3 years, I was the junior high Scholars Bowl coach. I was the high school forensics coach for 4 years, and 1 year in continuing on the leadership committee here in Ellis. So a little more about me, a little bit more personal. I've lived in Ellis, Kansas for 7 years. I have 2 kids. I have a 15-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. Between those two, I stay pretty busy, but my hobbies include reading. My son does all the sports, so we go watch him and everything he does. I enjoy snuggling with Miss Maya, my toddler, and when I can, I like to take naps. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the 3 levels of government and their roles in public schools. So the first level is the federal government, which provides financial support to schools. It also sets the educational standards and expectations, and this will help ensure that students in all different parts of the country that they are receiving a consistent quality education. So the federal government, they provide funds to support the schools, but they only provide about 8.5% of the funding. So this funding, it helps to supplement the state and local funding, and it's mostly for the special programs such as Title IX. The federal government, they do not make the policies and decisions, and they do not manage the day-to-day operations. The federal government does have the U.S. Department of Education, which is the primary government-run organization that's responsible for enacting the federal education policies. Their main job is to ensure equal access to educational opportunity. And they also try to help support the efforts of the state, local, and the private entities in improving the quality of education. The federal government also provides for the research and statistics on progress in conditions in education and how well the different programs and practices are working. So the state government, so for our state of Kansas, the state is responsible for areas that are more closely related to the day-to-day schooling experiences. The state government, they fund education at all levels. They are in charge of the licensing and the licensing requirements for teachers and other education personnel. They are in charge of overseeing the educational services for anybody with disabilities or other special needs. The state government has the state school board, which consists of elected or appointed members. The appointed members are appointed by the governor. And the state school board is there to play a role in the development of our state's curriculum standards. And they also help provide information and oversight to the local school boards. Okay, so our local government consists mostly of our school board. The school board is made up of elected members from the community. And they have the most significant control of any level of government on the day-to-day operations of the school. So the school board for the local government, they will set the policies for the school. They oversee the budgets for the district. They oversee the day-to-day operations of all the schools within the district. They're in charge of training the professional staff and providing the professional development. They are in charge of setting their district's curriculum as long as they fall within the state guidelines. The school board is in charge of hiring the superintendent, who oversees the staff and the day-to-day operations, and the superintendent will report to the school board. Okay, so our school board here at Ellis, we have 7 elected members on our school board. And I was in our school board's policy handbook. Their job is to promote the current and future success and well-being of the students and adults. They want each teacher to be well-developed, maintain, and implement lesson plans that align with our district's improved criteria, goals, and our learning outcomes. To ensure that this happens, the principal will regularly review the teacher's lesson plans. The staff, we all have high expectations for all of the students, and these expectations are based on individual student ability. Our school board does manage our school district. Our school district consists of 2 schools. We have the grade school building, which is pre-K through 6, and the junior high and high school are in one building, which is 7th grade through 12th. So we have our student handbook, and the school board makes sure that it's consistent with their policies. The handbook has to be approved by the board, and it's adopted as part of the policies and regulations. Violation of anything in the handbook, whether it be behavior code or anything else, it can result in disciplinary action. Our school board, they communicate with the public. They do this by having open meetings. Obviously, they have executive sessions where the public can't be in there. If you have something you need to talk to a member about, you can find their email addresses on our school webpage, and our board meeting minutes are also uploaded to the school website. Since 2020, all of our board meetings have been recorded, but I think they are doing away with that this year. Our board, for Evaluate Technology, there's not really a lot that I know of that goes through the board. We're a small district, so we have one IT person, and he kind of is in charge of ordering what we need that's new, figuring out what's not working, and those types of things. For operations of our school, the school board has the authority to conduct their district business without a specific statutory delegation. They can transact all business and adopt policies that they deem appropriate, and as long as they are constitutional, that they meet the constitutional duty to maintain, develop, and operate within our local public schools. And the board shall operate at all times as a committee of a whole, which means even if you're only meeting with 3 board members before they approve anything, they are going to verify with all the other members. Our board, the ways that they evaluate the plans that support school improvement and student development. So the superintendent can establish special curriculum committee to study our district's instructional programs. Our superintendent can require reports from these committees if they need to find improvement or modifications or eliminate anything. And then the superintendent will need to submit a comprehensive report to the board. And our school board, the way they implement laws, rights, policies, and regulations to promote student and adult success and well-being, a lot of that they rely on the administration to make sure that that is being handled correctly, and anything that goes against the handbook can subject someone to disciplinary actions. So my personal experience with the 3 branches, so the federal government, they implemented the Every Child Succeeds Act in 2015, which makes sure that the public schools provide a quality education for all children. And this is including the achievement of disadvantaged students. So this is how, we have to turn all of our stuff into the state to make sure that we are meeting that. With the state government, obviously I had to earn my teaching license, and then I have to do what I have to do to maintain my teaching license, and that is all done through the state. For the local government, I work with the school board as I am part of the negotiations committee. So we meet with members of the school board to negotiate the certified staff's contracts. Okay, and then here are my references. And then my correlation to the 6.1 through 6.3. So through this assignment, I was able to better understand how the federal, state, and local governments are able to support students' learning needs. Each level of government develops, implements, and evaluates ways on which they can best help all schools be successful, whether that's by providing the funds, creating curriculum, or hiring staff. So for 6.2, I was able to better understand how the federal, state, and local governments use data to implement regulations and allot funds that support school improvement and student development. In 6.3, I was able to see how the federal, state, and local governments divvy up responsibilities to promote student and adult success and well-being. So the federal government allows the states to handle most of the policy making while they ensure that all schools across the U.S. are given the same opportunities. State governments decide on curriculum and allot funding, but they allow the local government to decide how to do those things to best meet the needs of the adults and students. So this assignment was relevant to my learning as a future school leader, because as a school leader, I'm going to need to understand who governs what so that I can look to the correct sources to ask questions and learn answers. I was able to confirm through this assignment that our local school board uses the guide from the KASB, the Kansas School Board, to create their policies, which I did not know. The board and superintendent look for the guidance from KASB in administering policies and procedures. And this assignment improved my understanding of the 3 levels of governments by teaching me specifically what each level controls in public schools, which that was interesting. And then my reflection. So this assignment will change the way that I teach and learn because I now have a better understanding of my legal obligations from all 3 levels as an educator. It would be beneficial for many educators in my district to better understand these obligations so that they aren't upset with administration for implementing new strategies to make us be more responsible educators. And this assignment will influence the decisions I make as a future school leader by guiding me on where to look for answers to problems. For example, I can understand that funding for our school comes almost solely from the state and that the federal government only supplements our school funding. And I can also understand what my school board expects from me as a school leader, along with helping me understand our school board's precise roles in my district, which I did not know before this. And that is all I have for Module 1. Thank you.